I'm Claudia Kay, and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! Happy New Year. So, I took last week off, right? I am incapable of resting, apparently. Like, resting with purpose. Also, everything is so stressful right now that it is very, very hard to rest and relax when you are stressed out to the max. But let me tell you some of the things I discovered. I hate coloring. Hate it. So I got this amazing steampunk coloring book for my birthday in May. Had not color. Now, mind you, I also have like 6, 7 other coloring books that I've collected over the years that I thought someday when I'm not so busy running kids around to all of their activities and their job and this and that and the other, I'll have time to sit down and color, because I just think that's the coolest thing and I would love to do that. No. But anyway, this was my most recent one, and it was a gift for my 50th birthday in May. So let me find the page that I colored. Here's the page that I colored. It took me all stinking day. All day. I did not enjoy a single bit of it. Not a bit of it. So, the coloring books are gonna go. There's no point in keeping things I do not enjoy. I also decided to try to, if you've been following my health journey, then you know that I've been struggling with my brain, basically. But before this, I was a massive reader. Like, I would finish a book every 2 days on average for all of my life. I went to kindergarten being able to read Nancy Drew books. And I asked my mom at one point, I'm like, when did you and Dad teach me to read? She's like, we didn't. You just read. So I was always, an advanced reader. I always won awards for reading the most amount of books. Reading was my escape. It was something I loved to do more than anything. I would sit in the back corner of the living room while everybody watched a Disney movie, and I would read. So, when Mom would make me go outside to play when I was a kid, I would sneak a book out under my shirt and then climb up in a tree and read. So, always been a reader. And on average, I finished at least 100 books on my Apple app. And then also read just as many physical books. And I would always be in the middle of 5 to 6 nonfiction books, because I was always reading and learning and learning new things, and I just loved reading. The last few years, I have not been able to focus long enough to get through a book. Not even books I've read before. It's been very frustrating. So I thought, well, maybe if I'm just relaxing and resting and not doing anything else, then I'll be able to read. So I pulled a middle school book, The City of Ember, which this is a 4-book series. This is for readers age 9 to 12, and I've seen the movie multiple times because the kids owned it and watched it a lot when they were kids. So I thought, well, surely I can get through this series, because when I have whole series of books. I have authors I would follow, and every time they would come out with a new book in the series, like, I'd go back and reread the whole series again before I'd read the new one that was about to come out. Like, I would time it so that I could pick it up on the day it released and be done with the ones that came before it. It was no big deal for me to just completely reread. And I'm talking Mercedes Lackey, Anne McCaffrey, Sir Terry Pratchett, Jim Butcher, anyway, I did make it through this book and started the second one and got, I don't know, 2 chapters into the second one. And that's it. A book that is for 9 to 12-year-olds. So cognitive ability did not improve with resting for the week. That was frustrating. But I did put puzzles together, which is something I've always enjoyed doing, and haven't done since my youngest moved out in 2020, because he was my puzzler with me. My daughter was not a fan of doing puzzles all that much. She'd put a few pieces in here and there, and then she'd wander off to do other things. But my youngest son loved to put puzzles together, and then one of my sisters does too. And actually, when we went on vacation, maybe 2021, she took me with her and we did a puzzle then. But as far as the puzzles that I had here, and I thrifted most of them. I like to thrift ones that are still new. And I did thrift one that wasn't still sealed in box, but I lucked out and it was fine. So I did those. I started with 300 piece, and then I had 2 500 piece, 1 750 and 1 1000, and was able to do all of them. Now I had picked this one up at a garage sale. So it's supposed to be coffee, right? And I remember asking them if all of the pieces were here, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure all the pieces are there. So I dump it out and I'm like, wait, the puzzle background is white. Those are cats. This was shoved into the bottom of it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can get on board with a cat puzzle, obviously. A third of the pieces are missing. At least. A third of the pieces are missing. Like, one of the corners wasn't even there. I couldn't even put together the whole edge. I started to pull the black cats just to put the black cats together. Half the black cats' faces weren't there. And that was at the point where I stopped and put it back away. How stupid is that? I don't understand people who will sell a puzzle or donate a puzzle that doesn't have all the pieces. Or maybe, it had one piece missing. But a third of this puzzle just wasn't there. So it was a disappointment. But the good thing is I did get through all of my puzzles except for one. And it's a 1,000 piece that I got for my birthday, and it's pink flamingos with a pink sky and the pink water. And the good portion of the puzzle is pink, and I don't know I ran out of time in the week anyway. I finished the last 1,000 piece puzzle last night. So I'm not getting rid of it. I'm keeping it, but I don't know when I will do that puzzle. But I worked my way through the puzzles, so I'm going to keep just a few. And I already took some to my daughter's boyfriend. So even though I was supposed to be resting, I was actually working through things that I was going to get rid of. Yeah, I wasn't resting. I was terrible at resting. I did have a really good Christmas. I hope you guys did too. I don't know if you can see them because they're so tiny, but these dragon earrings, my daughter's boyfriend picked these out for me. They're Vera Wang. Oh my goodness, I love them. Love, love, love them. So a lot of people got me icy hot patches. I got ibuprofen and a lot of candy for Christmas. My main gift was a huge body pillow. They market it as a pregnancy pillow, but a lot of chronically ill people use this pillow too. And so it's got the pillow part here, and then comes down in 2 long body pillows. It's all one piece. And so it's like this is what it looks like. And it's amazing. Amazing. I love it. Disappointed in the fabric on the pillowcase that comes with it, because of course it needs a specialty pillowcase, but it's okay. I love it. It's been amazing. So that was my main present. What else? Oh, the other thing I did was face mask, lip mask. I don't know why people like doing it. And I remember in my 20s, before I had kids, having the energy to do those kind of self grooming thing. I don't even know words. Words are hard. But yeah, I did not enjoy that. And I didn't even get to the foot mask or the under eye masks, or it just felt like too much effort. So anyway, that was my week of relaxing. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. Also, I was sat down and told during my week of relaxing that I have until mid-February, third week of February, to have my stuff packed and be out of here. So, good news that my parents have found a place to move to. So there was only a week in between them selling this house and then finding a place to move to. But that means I'm homeless come February 20th. Which, yes, is very, very stressful. And I'm handling it like I always do, with dark humor and denial. So, yeah. The thing is, when you are chronically ill, and I've had fibromyalgia for 26, 27 years. I've had chronic fatigue syndrome diagnosed chronic fatigue syndrome since 2004. I've had lifelong insomnia. I've got everything that comes along with having those two things. You don't get better. You don't get better. You are chronically ill. That means you are always going to be ill. And that is an incredible burden to put on your loved ones. And no one wants to be a burden. So I don't know where I go from here. I can't work enough to support myself. The process of applying for disability and then being approved can take years. I don't know. And of course, I am Gen X, raised by boomer parents, and you are instilled with a work ethic from the time that you are old enough to know what work is. And, all of us, me and my siblings, all had odd jobs before we turned 16 or 15, because they lowered the age in Ohio once my middle sister was 15 and she was allowed to work. And then we got real jobs. So, I babysat until I turned 16 and got a real job. My brother and one of my sisters would mow lawns. I remember many of my siblings going over to an elderly neighbor's and working on her flower beds. My parents were custodians of a church combination school one time for a while. And I remember my job being cleaning the toilets. And I don't know, I was 11, 12. And they were, I don't even know how many toilets in that place, like 14 toilets spread out throughout the entire series of buildings. And so work is what you did. Work is what you do. And I didn't realize how much of my self-worth and who I am as a person and like my deep sense of me is wrapped up in my ability to work. So not being able to work right now is soul crushing, honestly. God, it's frustrating. Because it feels like I'm being lazy, except I'm not. And if you followed along with my health journey on my other channel, then you know that if I get up and do anything strenuous, like dishes or clean the bathroom, I overheat. I get very dizzy. My back will start to spasm. Then I'll get halfway through, like, cleaning the bathroom, and I'll have to go lay down for half an hour before I can go back and finish cleaning it. And so I had to stop thrifting in September. So I have not thrifted any new merchandise since September because I couldn't drive myself to a thrift store and then physically walk around a thrift store. I couldn't do it anymore. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Dark humor and denial. Apparently, that is the answer. So I will be going through everything that I own, everything. And I will be asking myself, do I need it? And do I love it? Because my brother has offered to store some of my stuff, but I want to make sure that I'm not having him store things that I don't actually need or that I don't actually love. So a lot of the stuff I'll be going through will be vintage from my own personal collection. I'll be putting it up for sale. And then, like I'm going to go through my clothes. And I have not been able to shave my legs in the last 4 or 5 years, because if I bend over to shave my legs, I get dizzy and feel like I'm going to pass out or throw up, or both. And so I just had to stop doing it. And I'm not comfortable and I know I should be super feminist about it, and I should just embrace my leg hair and be fine wearing skirts with my leg hair, but I'm not. I'm just not. And since I cannot shave my legs, why am I wasting half my closet on skirts? And I love skirts. If I had a choice, I wore a skirt versus wearing pants for most of my adult life, but I can't physically care for myself any longer. So why am I wasting the closet space? So, I'm going to be going through my clothes and thinning down that kind of stuff. And basically what I'm trying to do is keep the things that I use for the life that I have right now. And as always with chronic illness, you are grieving the loss of the life you had before all over again, because chronic illness is a lot of times progressive, or you get a new thing that goes along with a comorbidity that goes along with the chronic illness. And so it's never just you have this and you learn to deal with it and then you're going to be fine. No, you have this and then you grieve the loss of the things you could do that you now can't. And then 3 years later, you get this. And now you've lost the ability to do all of these things and you grieve that loss. And then 10 years down the road, you get this. And now you can't do this. Like, I can't eat gluten. I can't eat processed sugar. I can't eat dairy anymore. Now I can't read books. Now I can't shave my legs. So these are all things I could do like 6 years ago. Now I can't. So it's just this never-ending process of grieving the things that you are losing when you have chronic illness. And you all know I've spent all of last year trying to be healthier. We did Whole30 for 6 weeks at the beginning of the year. Then we switched to eating paleo, taking all of the vitamins and the supplements and I got worse. Over the last year. So that's incredibly frustrating for my family members who were being so supportive and trying to get me through that. And my mom cooking me the meals and my dad buying me the expensive supplements for me to get worse. It's tiring to be around a person with chronic illness. Of course, imagine how exhausting it is to be us. If you love someone with chronic illness, just be kind. They are struggling. And if you are someone with chronic illness, I see you. I feel you. I know what you're going through. So anyway, the things that I will have in sales for this month are going to be things from my personal collection. And Wednesday's Coffee Chat and a small sale should be uranium glass. That is my goal. I also have to get the Christmas taken down and decide which things I'm keeping. Like the pink Christmas tree that I love, that I've had for years and years and years, is looking pretty ratty. It's discolored from the sun on one side. And so I think I told you guys when I put it up at the end of November that this was going to be its last year. So like, that's an easy decision. Once the ornaments come off, chuck the tree. But, you know, then I've got ornaments that are special, and then I've got filler ornaments. Do I need to keep all the filler ornaments? Do I have room to store filler ornaments? I don't know. So, that's what I have going on. I will be just going through everything. And if I have the energy for it, I will do a video as I'm sorting through things so you can follow my process. But if I don't have the energy, I will not be getting a video up. I will just be going through it and pulling the stuff. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I am stressed to the max. I am not sleeping. My pain on any other year in January and February is the worst out of all the other months, because cold makes my pain level so much higher. So this is absolutely the worst time to have to be packing up and moving for me. I feel my best in like May, beginning of June, before it gets super hot. And then again in the fall, when the temperatures finally drop below, when it gets down into the 60s, 70s, I'm ideal. Then, of course, in Ohio, that lasts about a week, and then you're in freezing weather. But I have it's a lot of struggles going on all at the same time. And I just have to do it. I don't have a choice. I have to do it. Ugh, I'm looking around and I'm like, why do I own like 12 lamps? That's too many lamps. Although really I do use all of my lamps. Anyway, it's a lot of stuff to go through. It's a lot of stuff going on in my life. And trying to be positive about it, but also I'm just being completely honest with you guys. This is what's happening. I will not be starting a new altered book project at this point in time. Doesn't mean that I won't at all this year. I might, but I will not be starting it at this point in time. If somebody else wants to do it for content, if there's another creator out there that would like to do the project, you go right ahead. I would love that. I would think that would be amazing. One last thing before I sign off for the day. I did discover I have had some memory issues that I knew about, to the point where I went to Mom and I said, I feel like maybe I have the beginning of Alzheimer's or dementia. How old was Aunt Ethel when she was diagnosed? Because I had two great aunts and maybe a great uncle that all had Alzheimer's, and I currently have an aunt who's the same age as my dad that has Alzheimer's. It does run in my mom's side of the family, and it had gotten to the point where I'd noticed things I was forgetting. And she's like, oh, you don't have it because you wouldn't know it if you did. I was like, okay. Although in my experience, I have had friends who have had parents who have dementia or Alzheimer's, and the parent was hiding it because they knew something was wrong. But then I forgot some pretty major things that my daughter pointed out to me. And then she sat me down and had a talk with me about how many things I'm forgetting. So it's a little frightening. And then one of my sisters did mention it too, that I've been forgetting things. So I've got that going on as well. Yay. It's frightening, honestly. But we're gonna get through today. And then tomorrow we're gonna get through tomorrow. And hopefully be able to downsize and pack up. You guys are fantastic. And I love being a part of this community. Oh, you hear my cats fighting? So thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching my videos. And thank you for buying the fantastic vintage that I have been able to thrift and find the last few years. I know that this was a bummer of a video. They can't all be happy. All right, remember, be kind, because you have no idea what other people are going through. Bye, guys.